Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. One thing that we notice with a lot of cryptid stories or cryptid hunt stories or people randomly running into cryptids in the woods or something, there are often dogs involved. Whether somebody's out hunting with their dog or out hiking with their dog or whatever. And it led us to the question, is it a good idea to bring a dog with you on a cryptid hunt? Let's figure it out and let's get weird. So, as I mentioned, there are lots of stories involving dogs on cryptid hunts, and some are very positive, where, the dog warns you that there's a cryptid in the area, or the dog attacks the cryptid and saves your life, and some of them are very negative, where, the guy's dog goes missing and he finds it out in the woods and then stumbles on the cryptid that just killed it. So it kind of runs the full spectrum there, and, we've taken our dog on ghost hunts, but not on cryptid hunts. There's good reason for that. Our dog is a pug. The only reason I could think of to bring him on a cryptid hunt would be as live bait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there's only one ghost hunt, right?
It was one night, but multiple spots, I think.
Where else did we bring him? I don't remember bringing him anywhere else.
I thought we brought him to a couple different cemeteries. I could be mistaken. I don't know.
Well, was that the time when we went to the, Showtime, or I can't remember the cemetery?
Showman's Rest?
Showman's Rest, was that it?
Yeah, that was it. So you're right, I think it was just the one.
Yeah.
All right. We've threatened to bring him on a couple others, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So there are certain advantages to having a dog with you, I think. Maybe not our dog, but a dog.
Yeah, there are some for better dogs. Well, more ants dogs. But yeah, I mean, we know that many canines, like German shepherds, have much more enhanced, sight, hearing, smell,
and kind of a sixth sense too, like the ability to detect ghosts or something, just to know that something's off.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess just a basic example of that is when a dog is staring into nothingness for a couple minutes. I mean, that almost seems like a sixth sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
and I've told the story many times about our old dog and how he had kind of warned me about the September 11th tragedy, and there were times he had gone chasing through the house after something that nobody else could see. And I was convinced he was seeing spirits, and most dog owners have stories about something like that.
Yeah, so many dogs have that sixth sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you wonder why police officers have dogs as to search cars and search different areas to find drugs or something really hidden. I mean, they have really good senses, much better than ours. I don't know the data on how much better it is, but I'm sure it's more than 2 times better.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why people bring dogs hunting with them too.
Yeah, same scenario.
Which is why so many people have dogs with them when they encounter cryptids.
Yeah.
This is all kind of similar to Skinwalker Ranch, where they have cows, and they show them running around.
Mm-hmm.
There must be something weird going on.
Yeah, they call them biosensors.
Oh yeah.
All right. Just having a dog, I mean, they're very good at protecting their loved ones, I guess you could say. So yeah. I mean, if there were to be a giant 7 to 8 foot dogman trying to come at you, I mean, he'd maybe try to defend you until dogman grabs it by the skull and crushes it. But
right.
What I was thinking, if it's a German Shepherd, let's say, and what if it can sense a dogman, since they're often seen as a German Shepherd looking face anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Or what if it can even communicate with it? What if they speak a similar language?
Maybe.
Possible.
I don't know the language of dogman, but
no.
Maybe go by howls.
Yeah. But for protection, I mean, there was that great story out of Kentucky about the guy out hunting with his 2 dogs, and unfortunately I think one of them didn't make it, but the other one saved his life. And just charged dogman, and it was an epic battle. I think it was on the Confessionals podcast, and that was a great story.
Yeah, I mean that's a great example of companionship, which is another advantage. Clearly, a lot of dog owners have a great, deeper relationship with dogs rather than any animal, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're normally pets now. Yeah,
dogs are usually very, very loyal. Let's face it, I mean, if you're going out into the woods alone, you feel better if you have a dog with you. I mean, it kind of takes a little bit of that fear out of you when you're going out there. If we didn't always go out in a group, I would certainly be tempted to bring a dog.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many low-budget dog companionship movies.
Yes. But of course, there are disadvantages to bringing a dog with you on a cryptid hunt as well.
Yeah. One disadvantage is that they could be very loud.
True.
Especially like how our dog used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him, any being when he was younger, he would just bark nonstop.
Right.
And if there's a predator, I can only imagine how aggressive and loud and obnoxious our dog would be and many others would be.
Yeah, and a lot of dogs, regardless of their size, tend to be rather fearless too.
Yeah.
So, there could be an 8-foot Bigfoot or a 7-foot dogman, and they would just, blindly start barking at it.
Yeah, it reminds me of a scene, the first John Wick movie, when the dog just keeps barking at the guys with a gun, and,
Doesn't end well.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, and, one of the things that, I don't know, I try to be stealthy when we go into the woods looking for Bigfoot or Dogman. I know that they can probably hear us. I know their hearing's better than ours, and their senses are better than ours, much like a dog. But still, I just feel like if we go stomping into the woods and have a dog barking in front of us and everything else, if there's a cryptid out there, depending on the mood of that cryptid, it's either going to cause them to retreat further into the woods to get away from us, or they're going to come out and kill us.
Yeah. And that's one thing I don't understand about a lot of the shows about Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever. They're often just really loud, and I feel like they're just like scaring them away.
Yeah, I've never quite figured that out either. I mean, I understand you have to do a certain amount of communication to the camera just to keep the show interesting, but you're going to be much more likely to find something if you just sit quietly in a spot and wait for it to come by on a game trail or something.
Yeah, just do a voiceover.
Yeah.
I mean, those perform very well.
Yeah.
Still.
Definitely.
And also, a dog could break away and get lost, especially if the collar is loose.
Right. That's, again, a very aggressive dog might break away from his collar or slip out of its collar to go charging at something that it senses in the woods.
Yeah, and if you were to drag an untrained dog out without a collar, then it's gonna go away and you're never gonna find it again.
Yeah. And a lot of those stories that I refer to are really, really well-trained dogs, like hunting dogs that, they slip their collar and go charging into the woods, and the hunter's thinking, oh good, he's found a pheasant or something, and then, he finds the body of the dog hours later.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads to the next possible disadvantage, I suppose.
Yeah, it's possible that the dog could actually hurt the cryptid.
Oh yeah. In addition to the possibility of the dog being hurt, there's a possibility the dog could hurt the cryptid, which, for some people that's not a problem. Like on the Bigfoot is Real show, they probably train their dogs to try to hurt the cryptid. But
yeah.
For us, we're not trying to hurt anything. We just want proof that there's something out there.
Yeah, I guess there's a difference between hunters and explorers. I mean...
Yeah, so if we took a big Doberman or a big German Shepherd out in the woods and we met some big, gentle Bigfoot, maybe like an adolescent one or something, and it took a bite out of it, I would feel horrible.
Yeah.
Of course, we'd probably feel more horrible when the mama Bigfoot comes over to exact revenge on us all. But, yeah.
Well, that's one reason for us not to go to Canada.
Yeah, good point. Where they have the 14-foot tall Bigfoot. So, specific cryptids, I think, have different advantages and disadvantages when it comes to dogs. I mean, we've talked a lot about Dogman because that seems to be the one that people run into the most with dogs. And it makes sense. I mean, a dog can usually sense another dog from a great distance. Our dog can sense a dog from anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and again, like we talked about earlier, maybe the barks are actually communicating something to each other that they understand. Which I would hope if if we brought a dog into the woods, that it would be communicating, these guys are okay, they're not going to hurt you, they might even give you food.
Yeah. I get the feeling our dog would betray us and say, these people don't feed me enough. They put a cone on my head sometimes.
Yeah, come and get them.
Yeah.
That's another reason why we don't bring our dog on cryptid hunts.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think of all the cryptids, probably dogman is the one that makes the most sense to bring a dog on a hunt for. Another one that, might be a good idea is Bigfoot. It's because Bigfoot is more elusive, much harder to find in the woods. I would think having those extra senses that we talked about from the dog, like the enhanced hearing and sight and smell, and whatever his sixth sense is, might get us a little bit closer to Bigfoot than we might get on our own.
It's definitely possible.
I do think, though, that if you have a barking dog, you are more likely to cause a Bigfoot to retreat further into the woods, because Bigfoot seems to be all about avoiding humans unless you go right into his territory, in which case he's going to try to scare you out.
Yeah, and you know what the saying is, woof.
Yeah. Good old Russell, his ultimate Bigfoot defense.
Yeah.
Woof.
Woof. Yeah, so if that were to actually work and like an actual dog goes woof, like properly,
Right.
then yeah, that's maybe possible.
Yeah.
Or it could feel threatened by the wolf, for all I know.
Good point. Something that Russell apparently hasn't considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get a rock thrown at him.
Yeah. So another common cryptid that we look for is Mothman. I guess I have trouble thinking of the advantage of a dog when looking for Mothman.
Yeah, it's gonna bark at the Mothman, then the Mothman will get scared or get concerned and then fly off immediately.
Or pick up the dog and carry the dog off.
Yeah, that too.
See, I personally think this would be the best cryptid to look for with a dog.
Really?
Because I don't think the dog would charge at it because it's out of its reach. I think it would probably look at it and we would look at what it's looking at and see the Mothman. I don't think it would scare the Mothman away because the Mothman would be too far away.
Interesting.
That's my theory anyway.
Yeah, it's as good a theory as any.
Yeah. If Mothman were to fly away, I would be concerned about the dog, running after it from a distance, I guess. It would still go missing.
Yeah. Not knowing exactly what a Mothman is. I mean, if it's some relative of the owl, then that dog's a goner.
Yeah.
But if it is some supernatural space being or something that's here to warn us about catastrophes, then hopefully it's got bigger things to worry about than a barking dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would think that hunting Mothman, you'd be better off having like a trained falcon or something, so you can just release it and let it chase him down. But,
Yeah, it'd be like a tracker.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, all those same senses that a dog uses to track the other cryptids, they could use on Mothman, and maybe not put himself in as much danger doing it.
Or put the Mothman in danger.
Yeah. So other cryptids, I mean, Goatman.
It's gonna die.
Yeah, Goatman is just an angry lump of cryptid. I don't think barking at it is your best move.
I don't think the dog would even find it. I think the Goatman would just jump out of nowhere and catch the dog by the breath.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably no point in sending the dog looking for an underwater cryptid. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered the cryptids we're likely to find with a dog. I mean, some of the more supernatural ones, like a skinwalker or a wendigo or things like that, I think those you're only going to find if they want to be found. So I don't think the dog is really going to help you much in those cases.
Yeah.
So, in general, do you think it's a good idea to bring a dog with you on a cryptid hunt?
I would say it's better than going by yourself.
Okay.
But if you're going with people, then I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the only way I'd bring a dog into going into the forest and hunting for some kind of land cryptid. Yeah, I need a very well trained dog, big dog. I'm thinking German Shepherd. Some kind of police dog.
Yeah.
Because those mean business. They'll stay around you. They won't, if they're really, really well trained, then it won't just like run away unless something super unusual happens, like a mothman situation. But yeah, really well trained, it hopefully won't leave, and it'll be smart about his moves, hopefully.
Yeah, don't bother bringing a small dog.
Yeah,
No.
Not a pug.
Now, I'm with you 100% on that, the idea of bringing a big, well-trained dog. But let me throw this question at you. Do you think it's possible to train a dog specifically for cryptid hunting?
Well, maybe if it's like a little baby dog, maybe.
Oh, like a puppy?
Yeah, a little puppy.
That's what I mean. I mean, you take puppies and you train them to be hunting dogs, you train them to be police dogs, you train them to be guard dogs. Could you develop a regimen to train a dog to not panic if he sees dogman or Bigfoot? Like, you know, we got that big, I'm thinking of that big boxing trainer that we have.
Yeah.
That looks very human-like. What if we were to put like a werewolf mask on it and train the dog with a bunch of commands, you know, when to attack it, when to bark at it, when to stay away from it?
Yeah, I mean, that would require a lot of hard work and probably a lot of experience in dog training to achieve that, but maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
If it were a smarter breed of dog.
Yeah.
And some people say they're like hot spots for dogman sightings or Bigfoot sightings. I feel like if we put a dog like there, maybe they'll just be trained to recognize the cryptids around there.
Yeah.
If the hotspots really do exist.
Oh, like if we were to actually train them at Bray Road or something.
Yeah.
Train them, you know, where, yeah, that's a good point.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Bring a puppy to Bray Road and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it so it doesn't become bait.
But, you know, there is that statue on Bray Road. Just put a dog in front.
There you go. We'll talk to the homeowners there and see if they'd mind if we just bring our dog out there every so often and run it through some drills.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our thoughts on bringing dogs on a cryptid hunt. We would love to hear your thoughts, particularly if you've had experience encountering a cryptid with a dog with you, or if you know more about dogs than we do. Obviously, we're dog owners, but not dog experts. So anything you'd care to share with us, we would love to hear it. As always, thank you for listening, and thank you for subscribing.